Okay, guys, thank you. I am back. So, a lot has happened since I last made a podcast, which is crazy because I just listened to my podcast, and today is, I think it's November 28th, 2022, and my last podcast was posted on September 21st. So, it's very much been a lot that has happened, and it's crazy to me because I listened to myself back then and I'm like, wow. But it's like even more crazy because I'm like, wow, when I think back to where I was back then, I was in such a dark and deep place. It's crazy that through that darkness came so much intellectuality, and through that uncomfort and everything I was going through at that time, it brought so much realization, so much inspiration to, do and be. And I'm here, you know, in that kind of dark place again. It's crazy because, as I said, you work towards being better, but life is such a process, and in becoming your best self and knowing what you want for yourself, you do have setbacks, and it wouldn't even necessarily be called a setback. More so, the blessings don't ever stop, but it's just to acknowledge your blessings even in situations that seem as if there are none. There are so many, and I find myself here once again in a kind of dark place, but I wouldn't call it a dark place. I feel like I'm in a better position, more enlightened, more wise, but yet still with that wisdom comes realizations that sometimes you have to be in these places. Because if I wasn't in this place, I wouldn't, come and say, all right, let me just do a next podcast off the bat freestyle. Don't write nothing down. You get me? Just talk. Just be that person, And I'm inspired right now simply because I was in a funk, but I decided to turn that funk into a bunk. And bunk, I mean bunk bed. You know what I'm saying? Levels. Try to overcome, try to be better. And I mean, theoretically, I, I have such huge hopes, high hopes, big expectations for what it can be, and I tend to delay. Yes, it is such a bad characteristic in me. I have so much that I want to fulfill, but yet I stall. You notice I start just to know that, yeah, it's there. So I have that moment where I'm like, I can listen back to our old podcast and be like, wow, girl, you can do this. You know what I say? Like, actually do it. I love to like set myself up because it's like I've always been this way where I make sure I get things done pre-hand, so that when it comes down to when it's supposed to be done, I'll already be like halfway there. I've just always been that kind of logical person. So the whole aim of me doing my first episode was for me to be like, you already started, you have to keep going. And I feel like that's a very big lesson where sometimes you have to like remind yourself that, look, only you can make it happen. If you don't try, you'll never know if you're gonna fail or succeed. You get me? And a lot of the times we tend to dwell and, like, what's the word I'm looking for, like thrive in the negativity and the darkness and the sadness, not in a good way, but in a way where it continues to drain our energy. Instead of trying to come out of it, it's like easier to just stay in it. But I don't like easy, I like hard. And it's crazy because hard brings the best results in you as a person. It makes you stronger, it makes you more capable and able to overcome, go on, actually do it, actually try every day. I know how hard it is to just not want to. Trust me, I've been there where it's like, what in the F is really the point of this bullshit? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point, bro? But then you have days when you're like, damn, there's so many points. I want to fucking travel. Like, system make a way where, you get me? You have to maneuver it in a one way where you work hard, not harder. You work smarter and not harder. You get me? Because end of the day, life is already hard. Just living is hard. You get me? I say, and that's based off the circumstances that everyone has to endure. But at the end of the day, life's hard for everybody. Doesn't matter if you're rich or you're poor. You get me? More money, more problems. It's like there's always something. You can never walk in the next man's shoes, and I find myself been saying this for some time now, since recently, that you really can never walk in a next man's shoes. Don't ever look on a next man and think that, oh, they got it easy. No, you never know what they did, what they're doing, what they have to do. You know, I've taken a lot of risks, okay, and I'm only 22 years old. You know, I've reached points where I'm like, wow, you know, it's like, this is what you really got to do. You really got to decide what you want for your life and just really go for it. Because if you really decide to just settle and accept, that's all you're gonna do. That's all you're gonna be, settle and accept. You'll never see nothing new because you never really tried or attempted. You just black and white viewed what you thought life was, when life is never really black and white. The simple vibrations cause so many colors depending on the frequency, depending on the speed the vibrations is going at. Like, color is caused just by vibration, and I can't explain it. It's like a rainbow that is created just from the rain and the sun, just from a little puddle and the reflection of the light. Y'all know about light and passing through the prism and how that works. If you don't, you can look it up, because trust me, colors don't just appear. Like, I feel like the rainbow gave the first inspiration to what people thought colors could be, and observed colors as, and came the theory of colors and how they could mix and what they could create. And there's like over 1,000,000 colors now, based on the percentage of each color that you put. You get me? Life is so complex, so complex. And you notice that the people who make the most money are the ones that are extraordinary, do things out of the box, take that risk. You get me? Do something that you really shouldn't, but you're gonna do it anyways because there's just something drawing you to doing it for some reason. Like, you just have to, you know. And I just felt like I needed to hear this for myself, so why not record it, just so I can have that confidence again for my next episode that will be coming very soon. I will not be disappointing, okay? No, the quality might be a little but you already know how that we go, we grow, we learn, okay? This is Theoretically, and I'm Ali, and we out.